Ladies and gentlemen, every single tick of that clock is a piece of your life you will never get back. Right now, as you listen to me, another second has slipped away, gone forever. The question is, what are you doing with the time you still have? Because while you sit and think, someone else is building. While you wait, someone else is moving. And one day you'll look back and realize it wasn't talent that made the difference. It was time. The ones who win are not the ones who wish for more of it. They're the ones who stop wasting the time they already have. You see, time has a strange way of revealing the truth about a person's priorities. You can tell what someone truly values not by what they say, but by how they spend their hours. Words are cheap, time is costly, and the way you spend it speaks louder than any promise you could ever make. If you say you want success but spend your evenings drowning in distraction, then success isn't truly what you want. You're only flirting with the idea of greatness while secretly clinging to comfort. Because real desire, real hunger, shows itself in how you use your time when no one's watching. Think about it. Every successful person you admire once stood where you are. They too had 24 hours in a day. They too faced fatigue, doubt, and temptation, but they made a decision, a quiet, unshakable commitment, to stop wasting time and start mastering it. They didn't wait for the perfect mood, the right inspiration, or the ideal moment. They understood that the only way to honor their potential was through action. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking you have more time. You don't. The illusion of later is the biggest thief of dreams. I'll start tomorrow, we say, but when tomorrow comes, we say it again, and before we know it, the years have slipped away, leaving behind a trail of unfulfilled goals and half-lived potential. The clock is not your friend. It is a constant reminder that your time here is limited. Every tick is a question. What will you do with me? Every talk is an answer you can never take back. The secret to mastery in any field lies in how one values time. The artist who becomes great does not paint only when inspired. He paints because his purpose demands it. The athlete does not train only when motivated. He trains because he cannot afford to waste a single opportunity to improve. The thinker, the builder, the dreamer, all of them share this discipline of time. They understand that life rewards those who treat their minutes as currency, not confetti. Time is the invisible hand that molds your character. It doesn't just measure your life, it shapes it. The way you use your time determines who you become. Every habit you build, every decision you make, every action you take, they all carve you into something. So ask yourself, are you becoming the person you were meant to be, or are you merely existing, letting days blend into nights with nothing to show for them? Most people underestimate what they can do in a year and overestimate what they can do in a day. So they rush, fail, and quit. But the ones who win understand that greatness is a daily investment. Every hour dedicated to learning, improving, creating, or building stacks upon the last. It's not the massive effort that counts, it's the consistent one. A few minutes well spent each day is worth more than days of scattered effort. The wise person understands that time, when compounded, turns small beginnings into unstoppable momentum. If you truly want to stop wasting time, you must first stop fearing failure. So many people delay action because they are terrified of getting it wrong. But the biggest mistake is doing nothing at all. Time rewards the brave, not the hesitant. Even your failures have value when you learn from them. But time wasted in hesitation teaches nothing. The clock keeps ticking, and you stay the same. That's the cruel part. While you hesitate, others act. While you plan, others execute. While you doubt, others build. And when you finally decide to move, they've already arrived. It's not that the world is unfair, it's that most people refuse to play the game seriously. Life will always favor the one who values it most, and time will always favor the one who uses it best. There is no magic formula, no secret shortcut. The truth is simple: stop wasting time, start doing the work. Every morning you wake up, you are handed 400 seconds, a new opportunity to build, grow, and move closer to your dreams. Imagine if someone deposited $86,400 into your account every single day, but took back whatever you didn't use by midnight. How careful would you be with that money? You'd make sure every dollar was put to good use. But that's exactly what time does. It deposits a new day into your life every morning and withdraws it every night. Whatever you fail to use is lost forever. You can make more money, but you can never make more time. The people who achieve greatness are not superhuman. They simply learned to value time more than pleasure. They understood that the satisfaction of progress outweighs the comfort of procrastination. They traded temporary ease for permanent strength. They chose to sacrifice a few moments of leisure for a lifetime of fulfillment. And that's the choice we all face every single day, to either waste our time or invest it. Discipline is the art of valuing time. It's not punishment, it's protection. It guards your future from the theft of distraction. It's saying no to what feels good now so you can have what feels right later. And every time you choose discipline over laziness, you gain something priceless: momentum. Once momentum builds, it carries you forward with power and purpose. But momentum can only begin when you stop wasting time. Time is the raw material of life. What you do with it determines what kind of life you'll have. Use it to complain, and you'll build a life full of excuses. Use it to learn, to grow, to act, and you'll build a life full of meaning. The choice is yours. The same hours that some used to build empires, others used to destroy their own potential. The difference lies in perspective. One sees time as an opportunity, the other sees it as something to kill. We live in an age where distraction is disguised as entertainment and procrastination is disguised as rest. We tell ourselves we're taking a break, but we never get back to work. We say we're just checking something for a moment, and hours vanish. The truth is, we've forgotten how to sit with silence, how to focus deeply, how to be present. But greatness is born in silence. Creation happens in solitude. Progress happens in focus. If you want to stop wasting time, you must learn to be alone with your purpose, to sit quietly and do the work that no one else will see until it shines. The tragedy is that most people won't realize they've wasted their time until it's too late. They'll look back and see how much potential was left unused, how many chances were ignored, how many dreams were postponed. Don't let that be you. Don't reach the end of your journey wishing you had started sooner. The perfect time will never come. The only time is now. The people who make history are not those who waited for the right conditions. They are those who created them. They didn't waste their time hoping for a lucky break. They made their own. They worked in the dark until their light was undeniable. They understood that the best use of time is not to wish for more of it, but to maximize what's already there. If you have an hour, use it. If you have 5 minutes, use them. The smallest step forward is better than standing still. And remember, time not only measures life, it measures legacy. Every minute you spend working on your vision adds to the story you'll leave behind. What will that story say? That you were a person of purpose or a person of excuses, that you valued your days or wasted them chasing distractions? Time is writing your biography moment by moment. You decide what kind of book it will be. So guard your time like a treasure. Respect it as you would your most valuable possession, because it is. Stop giving it to people, habits, and activities that drain your spirit. Stop pretending that idleness is harmless. It's not. Every wasted minute is an invisible chain holding you back, and every time you choose action over delay, you break one of those chains. The world doesn't owe you more time, it owes you nothing, but you owe yourself the discipline to use what you've been given wisely. Time is the most honest friend you'll ever have. It gives you exactly what you put into it. Treat it with care, and it will reward you with progress. Abuse it, and it will quietly take everything from you. The moment you stop wasting time, life begins to respond differently. Opportunities that were once invisible start to appear. Energy that was once drained by distraction begins to return. You start feeling alive again, because you're finally moving. You're finally living with purpose instead of drifting through the days. You become someone who commands time, not someone controlled by it. And if you can hold onto that awareness, if you can wake each day knowing that time is both fleeting and powerful, you will never again take it for granted. Because you'll understand that every moment is a chance to change your story. Every second carries the potential to transform your life, and all it takes is one decision, to stop wasting time and start using it as if it truly matters, because it does. When you begin to understand the true value of time, something profound changes within you. The days no longer feel ordinary, the minutes no longer pass unnoticed. Every hour becomes a sacred opportunity, every second a quiet reminder that you are alive and capable of shaping your destiny. You stop living by chance and start living by choice. You stop moving aimlessly and begin to move intentionally. Life takes on a sharper focus because you no longer see time as something to be spent. You see it as something to be invested. The greatest minds throughout history all had one thing in common. They mastered their time. They knew how to channel their energy into meaningful pursuits. They didn't chase every fleeting interest or indulge every impulse. They learned the power of focus, and in that focus they found freedom. You see, discipline is not about restriction, it's about liberation. When you discipline your time, you free yourself from chaos. You gain control over your future. You move with direction and purpose instead of drifting wherever the current of life takes you. People often complain that they are stuck, that nothing seems to change. But time itself is change. Every passing moment is an opportunity to become someone new, to rewrite your story, to take one more step toward the life you want. The reason most people stay the same is not because they can't change. It's because they refuse to use their time for transformation. They fill their days with noise, avoid discomfort, and wonder why progress never comes. Change requires time, but more importantly, it requires how you spend that time. It's not enough to wish for more time. You must respect the time you already have. You must decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't. You must become ruthless with distractions and generous with your purpose, because the world will always try to steal your time. There will always be something calling for your attention, a notification, a conversation, a temptation to drift. But if you let everything claim your minutes, you'll have nothing left for yourself. The truth is, the more you value your time, the more valuable your time becomes. When you begin to protect your hours, people begin to respect them. When you start living intentionally, opportunities begin to align with your direction. Life has a strange way of rewarding those who move with purpose. It's as if the universe recognizes discipline and meets it halfway. You don't need more hours in a day. You need more intention in your hours. You need to ask yourself each morning, what will I do today that truly matters? What will I do that will still have meaning tomorrow, next week, next year? Because the difference between success and stagnation often lies in the answer to that question. The person who spends their time building will always outgrow the person who spends it waiting. Time is the most honest mirror. You can't fake how you use it. You can talk about dreams, goals, and ambition, but your schedule reveals your truth. Show me your calendar, and I'll show you your priorities. If your time isn't aligned with your goals, then your goals are just wishes. You cannot achieve a disciplined life with a disordered schedule. You cannot build greatness on a foundation of wasted hours. And yet, there's something beautiful about time. It's forgiving. No matter how much of it you've wasted before, you still have this moment. This moment is untouched, unspoiled, and full of potential. You can choose right now to start again. You can reclaim your time by choosing differently. The past is gone, but the future is still being written, and every second you live with purpose is a stroke of ink on that unwritten page. The greatest tragedy is not that people run out of time, it's that they never truly lived with it. They spend their lives reacting instead of creating, drifting instead of deciding, existing instead of becoming. They wait for inspiration, not realizing that inspiration grows from action. They want results without the patience to invest time in the process. But mastery, progress, fulfillment, these are the rewards of time well spent. They belong to those who are willing to persist when others give up, to focus when others are distracted, to build when others are resting. The moment you start honoring time, your life begins to gain weight and meaning. You start moving with quiet confidence because you know you're no longer wasting your life. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you're on the path. You're using your hours as stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. You're proving to yourself that time can work for you, not against you. And make no mistake, time will test you. There will be moments when you'll want to give in, when progress feels slow, when you'll be tempted to slip back into comfort. But that's when you must remember, every second you endure, every moment you resist the urge to waste time, you grow stronger. You're building endurance, you're building patience, you're building character. The strength of your future depends on the discipline of your present. Time doesn't require you to be perfect, it requires you to be consistent. It rewards persistence more than talent, commitment more than genius. You don't need to make every second extraordinary, you just need to make it count. Even small, consistent acts of focus compound into greatness over time. The person who dedicates an hour each day to their craft will always outpace the person who waits for a perfect opportunity. The secret is to begin, to act, and to keep going. When you start valuing time, you also start valuing yourself. You realize that your life is too precious to waste on meaningless things. You begin to choose carefully what you read, who you talk to, what you watch, how you spend your energy. You become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. Because you understand that everything you allow into your day shapes your destiny. You're not being selfish when you protect your time. You're being responsible. And in that responsibility, you find peace. You stop rushing, stop panicking, stop comparing yourself to others. You begin to understand that you're not in a race, you're on a journey. Your time is yours and no one else's timeline defines it. The only mistake is to waste it on things that don't move you forward. You don't owe your hours to anyone who doesn't value them. Give your time to what builds you, inspires you, and brings meaning to your existence. If you ever feel lost, don't look for answers in the noise of the world. Look at how you're spending your time. Your use of time reflects your priorities shape your habits, and your habits determine your life. Change how you use your time, and you will change everything else with it. You don't need permission. You don't need motivation. You just need to begin, this hour, this moment, this breath. Time is the most powerful force you'll ever work with, but it's also the most fragile. It slips quietly through your fingers if you don't hold it with purpose. The days blend, the weeks blur, the years vanish, and all that remains is the record of how you used them. That's the truth that so many people ignore until it's too late. But if you remember it now, if you start acting on it today, your future self will thank you in ways you can't yet imagine. Because time, when honored, becomes a friend, it begins to compound your efforts. It turns your consistency into confidence, your discipline into results, your persistence into legacy. What begins as small, invisible effort becomes visible transformation. You start to see progress where once there was only frustration. And suddenly, time is no longer something you're chasing. It's something working for you. Every second counts, every moment matters, every day carries a choice. You can use time to build the person you dream of becoming, or you can let it slip away while you wait for the right moment. But remember, while you're waiting, someone else is working. While you're hesitating, someone else is moving. And in the end, it's not the most talented or the most intelligent who win, it's the ones who use their time the best. There's no mystery to success, no hidden key. The secret lies in how you use the time you already have. Treat it with reverence, with gratitude, with discipline, because when you stop wasting time, you stop wasting life itself. And when you do that, when you finally take control of your hours, your focus, your energy, you'll discover something extraordinary. Time will no longer be your enemy. It will be your greatest ally, the silent partner helping you build a life of purpose, strength, and unstoppable momentum. The moment you realize time is your greatest ally, everything begins to change. You start to see your days as gifts instead of obligations, as opportunities instead of burdens. You no longer wake up hoping for things to be easier. You wake up determined to be better. Because now you understand that every sunrise brings with it a silent invitation. An invitation to build, to learn, to grow, to move one step closer to the life you were meant to live. And the people who accept that invitation day after day are the ones who ultimately rise above the rest. There's a certain kind of peace that comes from knowing you are no longer wasting time. It's a quiet, powerful satisfaction that settles deep within you. You begin to look back on your days not with regret, but with pride. You begin to see progress where there once was hesitation. You feel the subtle, steady strength that comes from consistency, and though the world may not notice your efforts right away, you do. You feel yourself changing. You feel time working with you, shaping you, sharpening you, preparing you. But make no mistake, this transformation doesn't come easily. The temptation to waste time will always be there. The distractions will always whisper, calling you back into comfort, into the softness of inaction. The world will try to pull you into its endless noise, to fill your mind with trivial things and your hours with meaningless pursuits. It will tell you to relax, to slow down, to take it easy, even when your soul is crying out for progress. And that's where the real battle lies, not against time, but against the misuse of it. To overcome that, you must develop an unshakable discipline, a kind of inner command that refuses to surrender to distraction. You must build routines that protect your focus, habits that honor your goals, and systems that make productivity a way of life, not a rare burst of motivation. You must learn to live by design, not by default. Every hour you schedule, every plan you execute, every small step you take toward your vision, these become your armor against the chaos of the world. And it's not just about being productive. It's about being purposeful. There's a difference between movement and meaning. Many people stay busy all day but accomplish nothing that truly matters. They chase deadlines, answer calls, check boxes, and go to bed exhausted, yet empty. Because busyness without purpose is another form of wasting time. It gives the illusion of progress without any real direction. The key is to align your actions with your purpose, to ensure that every moment spent moves you closer to the life you want to live. You must also learn to say no. No to the people, habits, and distractions that don't serve your purpose. No to the endless demands of others that steal your energy. No to the voice in your head that says, it's okay to waste a little time. Because it's never just a little. Time wasted accumulates, just like effort does. 1 minute turns into an hour turns into a day, and before you know it, you've lost weeks, months, even years to things that never brought you closer to where you wanted to be. Protect your time with the same intensity that you would protect your dreams, because, in truth, they are one and the same. When you start living with this awareness, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice the power of small decisions. Every moment you choose focus over distraction, discipline over comfort, purpose over ease, you're making a deposit into the account of your future. And those small deposits, compounded over time, create a wealth far greater than money. They create mastery, they create fulfillment, they create the life you were born to live. But remember, valuing time doesn't mean rushing through life. It means being fully present in it. It means giving your full attention to the task at hand, whether it's working on your craft, spending time with loved ones, or sitting in silence to think and reflect. True productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, with intention and clarity. It's about quality over quantity, focus over frenzy. The irony is that when you begin to respect time, you start to feel like you have more of it. The hours seem to stretch because you are finally living them with awareness. When you stop wasting time, time rewards you by revealing its abundance. You realize that it was never the lack of time that held you back, it was the lack of focus, the lack of direction, the lack of courage to say no to what doesn't matter. And with that realization comes power. You start to act differently. You begin to structure your life around what truly counts. You plan your days with purpose. You move with clarity. You make commitments carefully and keep them faithfully. You spend less time chasing validation and more time pursuing vision. You stop trying to do everything and start doing the right things. The noise fades, and the path ahead becomes clear. People around you will begin to notice. They'll sense something different about you, an intensity, a calm certainty, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be explained. You'll start to inspire others, not by what you say, but by how you live. Because when you respect time, people respect you. When you move with purpose, you become an example of what's possible. Your life becomes a message, a living reminder of what discipline and direction can create. And the beautiful thing about time is that it rewards persistence in ways you can't always predict. You might not see the results immediately, but they're building quietly beneath the surface. Every effort compounds. Every disciplined moment adds weight to your foundation. Then one day, when you least expect it, all that unseen effort begins to bloom. The opportunities appear, the results manifest, the recognition comes. And when it does, you'll know it wasn't luck, it was the faithful return on the time you once invested. The people who waste time often believe they're avoiding discomfort, but what they're really doing is trading short-term ease for long-term regret. The pain of discipline lasts for a moment, but the pain of wasted time lasts a lifetime. When you discipline yourself to use your hours wisely, you experience the satisfaction of growth. You build confidence not by wishing for change, but by creating it. And with each disciplined day, you earn a kind of freedom that no shortcut could ever offer, the freedom of knowing you're in control of your destiny. There will always be days when you feel tired, uninspired, or uncertain. That's normal, but those are the days that test your respect for time the most, because anyone can use their time well when they feel motivated. It's what you do when you don't that defines your character. The decision to keep going, even when it's difficult. That's how you separate the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the wishers from the achievers. Each time you push through the resistance, you strengthen your relationship with time. You prove to yourself that you are worthy of your own potential, and potential is nothing more than unused time waiting to be transformed. Every human being is born with it, but few ever realize it fully. Why? Because they waste the one thing that could have turned potential into power time. Talent without discipline is like a seed left unplanted. It holds promise, but it bears no fruit. The soil of success is watered not with dreams, but with hours of practice, effort, and persistence. So use your time as a craftsman uses his tools, with care, precision, and purpose. Let every day be a step toward mastery, every hour a contribution to the vision that drives you. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Don't wait for the right moment, create it, because the right moment is not a matter of timing, it's a matter of decision, and the decision is always now. Once you understand this, time no longer feels like a burden. It becomes your canvas. You begin to paint your life with intention. Every minute adds color. Every hour adds depth. Every day shapes the masterpiece you're building. And though the painting may take years to complete, you'll find joy in every stroke, knowing that none of it was wasted. The person who masters their time masters their life, and mastery isn't a gift, it's a choice repeated daily. It's the choice to rise when it's easier to rest, the choice to focus when it's easier to drift, the choice to build when it's easier to talk. Time gives you those choices every single day, and the sum of your choices becomes your life. So as you move through your days, remember this truth. Time is not something you manage. It's something you respect. It's not a tool to be used carelessly, but a treasure to be guarded. Every second holds value. Every moment carries weight. The clock doesn't stop, but neither does your ability to use it wisely. And in that realization lies the key to everything you've ever wanted, to growth, to greatness, to the extraordinary life that waits beyond the reach of wasted time.